Hello and welcome to episode 0 where we discuss the why, when, how and where of the NK Zagreb Command and Conquer save. It is a delight to have you with me for this introductory video where we're going to be playing in Football Manager 2019 as the Poets. The pedigree is how I want to imagine it's pronounced in Croatian. I've probably messed that up. They're also known as the Whites. The team we're going to be is NK Zagreb. They have a red badge. It has the fort on it of Croatia. I'm not too sure what the star and the moon is. If there's any Croatians that follow this channel, please do let me know in the comments below. Or if you're not Croatian but you know your Croatian history, please do let me know that. Their kit is white at home, red away, and their third kit is green. We'll get on to why their third kit is green in just a little second. They play their football at the Stadion u Kranjevojvoj, which I'm pretty sure I've absolutely butchered that name. That's where they play. It's at a stadium named after a road who's named after a poet. Hence, they have the nickname The Poets. They're obviously playing in Zagreb, which is a beautiful city which I had the joy of visiting on a holiday. They're obviously up against it, with the big team, Dynamo Zagreb, also being placed in Zagreb, as you would imagine by the name. NK Zagreb aren't a complete waste of time though. They do have a pedigree, they do have history. They have represented Croatia in the Champions League twice, the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup 4 times, the Intertoto Cup 10 times, and the now disbanded Intercities Fairs Cup 10 times as well. So they do have that European history that they can always rely on. They are also the first team in Croatia that won the championship that wasn't Dynamo Zagreb or Hajduk Split. In the 2001-2002 season, they got their only championship win since the establishment of the Premier League in Croatia in 1992. So I said I'd mention why the third kit is green. It doesn't go anywhere with the colour of the club. It doesn't go in anything that relates to the club. However, when the stadium was first built, it was called the Stadion Concordia. This is because there was a company called Concordia who helped to build the stadium in Zagreb. And as a sign of respect, when Concordia went under after World War II, the stadium was given to the NK Zagreb Sports Society. Therefore, the football pitch side of it was given to NK Zagreb. They kept their third jersey in the colour of green to honour Concordia. That was the colours of the company business. So why this club for the save? Well, as I mentioned previously, I was on a holiday in Croatia where I unwittingly or unrealisingly dragged my friend who's not that into football around football stadiums during our road trip. We landed in Slovenia, we went to Ljubljana, Maribor, then down to Zagreb, then Split, then Rijeka, then Zagreb again, and all the while always seeing different football stadiums. I was lucky enough to see Hajduk Split Stadium, Dynamo Zagreb Stadium, Rijeka Stadium, which is the nicest stadium I've ever been to location wise in the world. I was lucky to see NK Maribor Stadium, and of course NK Zagreb Stadium, which, as I've mentioned, is the Stadion u Kranjevojvoj, which is in a bit of a rundown state right about now. It can hold 8,850 people. When it was first created, it held 12,000 people. It was designed to be the largest stadium in Zagreb. However, it didn't always come through like that, and there's always been problems with it. A fire in the West Stand caused a reduction in the capacity, and then when they actually qualified for the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, the stadium had to replace a standing arena side of the stand with seats, and that reduced the capacity to 8,850 from the 12,000. More problems were abound in recent years, and more of the stand has been shut due to health and safety reasons. However, with NK Zagreb now playing in the third division of Croatian football, they do not get fans of 8,000 numbers. They're getting fans of around 1,000 numbers, if that. But you could argue there's lots of places that I've been on holiday that I could use a team for, so why NK Zagreb? Well, a bit more background on the history and on the current affairs of the team. The current president of the club is a man that goes by the name of Dražan Medic. Now, he is not liked by the fans of the club. The ultras, as they call themselves, are called the White Angels. These are not like ultras that we're aware of from other countries or other clubs that you hear about. These ultras are very left-wing in a political term. They're very anti-fascist. Their flag or emblem is a football squashing a Nazi swastika. They continually attend protests and rallies to fight against things like homophobia and anti-diversity and the fact that education isn't free in Croatia. These fans, these ultras are very much a community-based ultras, and this is why they don't like the president. The president has a link to, well, allegedly a link to the Croatian mafia and the mayor of Zagreb, which is why the club has a dilapidated stadium but has unbelievably good training facilities. There's a lot of confusion, I guess is a word, about the finances of the club. There are no sponsors of the club due to these links, and there is a very big mess when it comes to finances. Dražan Medic is very disliked by all the fans. There is a huge uproar against him with NK Zagreb, and he has been cited as the man that has ruined their team and their club as a whole. Dražan Medic has overseen the club when they were in the first division. They had financial difficulties and he rejected every single bid for every single player and then didn't pay them their wages. These players left on a free transfer when they could at the time. The club went bankrupt, got put into administration, and Dražan Medic held on to the presidency. He has overseen the club go from League 1 to League 2, and now they sit bottom of League 3 with a -1 point difference to start the season. This is when we're going to step in. This current season in real life, they are struggling. They have drawn one game, they haven't won a game, they are on 0 points and a -35 goal difference after 9 games. They have a huge mix of players currently playing at the club. There is part-timers, there's full-timers, there's amateurs, there's kids, there's older players. But obviously a club like NK Zagreb will have a bit of history behind it, like we've already touched on. However, they have some quality players that have come through this team. None other than Ivica Olic, who went on to represent Croatia a number of times and became a world-known figure in football. It was in fact Ivica Olic that led the club to their first championship in 2002, scoring 21 goals in 29 appearances. He was absolutely incredible for NK Zagreb, which got him his big move to the Bundesliga, where he forged that career that everyone knows and loves. So we've heard about the ups and we've heard about the downs. What do I have in plan for them? Well, the end goal is to win the Champions League with NK Zagreb. However, there's little steps we've got to get through across the way. That is to become a professional club. The club have fallen so far out of favour with everybody, and through the leagues they have now become semi-professional, meaning they're not playing and they're not paying all of their players. So the first stage will be make the club professional. Secondly will be get promoted from League 3. After that, win League 2. After that, win the championship in League 1. Then we move into Europe, where we hopefully pick up a Europa League before we win the Champions League. All of this should hopefully bring the nation of Croatia to be a wonderful team that will dominate the world. They already have really good players coming through in Croatia youth systems through Zagreb and Split, but they need this to happen on a more regular basis as the reputation of the country goes up, the reputation of the regions go up, and therefore the reputation as the national team goes up, and they do better and better. At the moment, this save won't incorporate me managing the Croatian national team. However, that is always a chance on the horizon if the chance happens. So there you have it. That is why I am taking on NK Zagreb. It's going to be one hell of a journey, and we've got to deal with an owner that has dodgy links to potentially the Croatian mafia. We're going to have to deal with a fan base that doesn't like the ownership of the club. And we're going to have to deal with a club that has a real big mix of players, from part-timers to full-timers to amateurs to under-18s to over 30s. We'll have to see how this goes. And to top it all off, we've got to start with a -1 point differential. I really hope you enjoy this journey, and I look forward to seeing you in episode 1. Once again, let's have a quick look at the intro.